Hello and welcome to a presentation about what will be the fight of the century, the rumble in the disambiguation jungle. So, since I wrote my PM in English and I don't know how to say word sense disambiguation in Swedish, I'm going to continue with English for this presentation. So, hopefully you've read my PM and you know that I'm going to be doing my project on comparing two different word sense disambiguation systems. So, why don't we start with what everyone is wondering? What is word sense disambiguation? Word sense disambiguation, which I'm going to call from here on WSD, is the process of identifying the meaning of words in context in a computational manner using some sense inventory, generally WordNet. So what are these two systems I'm comparing? One is a traditional all-words disambiguation system, the model of which I still haven't decided on, but most likely will be an unsupervised graph-based model. I'll talk about this more in the future. The other is a novel system created here in Austin, Texas by my internship supervisor Katrin Erk and her PhD student Tae-Soon Moon. So this model differs from the traditional word sense disambiguation system in that it does not assume that, given a word in context, that only one sense is appropriate for that word. The reasoning behind the model is based on studies in cognitive science that indicate that categories are, on the one hand, clear-cut, but on the other hand, can have fuzzy boundaries. This is indicated by the difficulty human annotators have shown in agreeing on senses. This is what's known as inter-annotator agreement. So the result is an all-words paraphrasing model that aims to derive a distribution over potential paraphrases for all content words of a sentence at once using an undirected graphical model as its basis. I know this sounds complicated, and it's complicated for me, so I'm going to have to get back to you in the future once I familiarize myself better with both of these systems. So, in order to evaluate the systems, I need data and a gold standard. A gold standard is, in essence, the answer sheet. We'll come back to the gold standard shortly. So, most WSD systems use machine learning in order to function, and in order for a machine to learn, it must have something to learn from. That learning material is the portion of my data which is called the training data. Altogether, the training data consists of 2,220 sentences centered around 8 lemmas. More information about the data distribution can be found in my PM. So, these sentences are what the two systems will learn from, and although I'm only focusing in my study on 8 lemmas, these systems are all-word disambiguation systems, meaning that the goal is that they can disambiguate any word that you present them with. Okay, so the systems have learned how to disambiguate. Now they need some new data to actually disambiguate. This is known as the test data. The test sentences are the ones that I have presented to workers on Mechanical Turk and received paraphrase ratings for. I'm not going to talk about Mechanical Turk, you can read that in my PM. So, now, the fight can begin. The systems are run on the test sentences and output the same data, only now all the content words have been tagged with a sense. But how do we know who the winner is? That's where the paraphrase ratings I collected were for. Remember I mentioned the gold standard, or more simply put, the answer sheet? The output from the two systems are compared against the paraphrase ratings, and the winner is the system which produced results most like the gold standard. As I mentioned in the beginning, the graded word meaning system is novel and has not yet been directly compared with the same data to a traditional word sense disambiguation system. So, the results are exciting, especially for the people here in Texas who have developed this system, and I think it'll be exciting to see myself what happens. So that's my presentation. I hope everyone is doing good in Stockholm, and I will see you in May.